In how many countries in the world can a common man rise to the most powerful position in the nation? Not many, for sure. But in India, yes, you can. That is what this great country of India has achieved in the past 75 years. So, happy 76th Independence Day, India. As India is celebrating the 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, I am truly wishing that India will be a 100% developed country soon. But now, let's take a look at just how much India has managed to achieve in the past 75 years of independence. I mean, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, would have never imagined how strong and advanced India would become in just 75 years after its independence. Like, really, that's not that long for most of the countries in the world, and yet for India, they are now the largest and stable democracy and the second most populous country with a population of almost 1.5 billion. The life expectancy has increased from 33 years to 70 years in these 75 years of India's history. And you know what? That is not an easy achievement at all. And plus, India became a hub for the medical tourism, providing the quality healthcare at a very reasonable price. And India is the largest producer of generic medications and vaccines. At the hour of need, India supplied medications to the whole world in the COVID-19 pandemic, including the United States. 50% of generic medications in any retail pharmacy in the United States of America are made in India. Out of those medications, half of them are made in Hyderabad. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. And plus, it's not just this either. India is the world's IT hub, with being the largest IT exporter in the entire planet. The world's largest high-tech companies like Microsoft and Google are led by Indian CEOs, and they have some of their largest campuses in India. And India was transformed from a food importer to a food exporter during these 75 years. When India was divided in 1947, all of those fertile lands in Punjab and Bengal had gone to Pakistan. And on top of that, 8 million people had migrated to India.
In India, support for Bangladesh stems from hopelessness in the face of over 8 million refugees. Calcutta alone accepting 250,000 in 48 hours, and the wish by a minority to invade East Pakistan, return the refugees, and avoid an almost insuperable problem for India herself.
Now, the consequences of this was that India did not have enough food grains to feed to all of its people. So from this situation, India was transformed to become a food exporter in the past 75 years, thanks to the hardworking agricultural scientists and the amazing farmers. India has had a very rich history and culture, and is home to the third largest movie industry in the world. And the Indian cinema produces the highest number of movies in the world. India has given the gift of yoga to the world. So obviously, India is the spiritual guru of the world. And India is also a big global leader. India works very closely with the United Nations and also gives a helping hand to many countries, like helping Sri Lanka in its difficult times. And India is one of the fastest growing and top 5 economies in the world. And India has one of the largest militaries and is a nuclear power. And that's something that only 8 countries are known to have. India is making its mark in space technology as well. When it comes to sports, India is very much up and coming, and I'm very confident in the next 20 years it's going to become in the top 5 in any medals tally. If you give India enough time, I'm really sure that it's going to be excelling in sports soon. And I'll be honest, even with all of this, there is still one major strength of India, because the actual strength of India is its diversity. Different languages, different religions, different ideas and beliefs. There is no other country as diverse in the whole world as India. And for sure, I believe that that is the real strength of India. I mean, if we compare with the countries that became independent in the 1940s and the 1950s, India is really going great. There might be some negatives here, but we have to be optimistic and go forward and correct those negatives and make the positives better. I mean, trust me, there are only a handful of countries where a common man can become the top post in the country, like the prime minister or the president. And if you're talented and if you work hard, you can get into a good college and get a decent job with a good salary package. You could even become a movie star if you have the talent. The only thing is that you have to think and set up a goal and work hard. And I am very, very confident that India has a very bright future. So, happy 76th Independence Day, India. Love you. Akash.